Hello and welcome to Group Three's presentation on cookies. My name is Janene Miller and my team members are Annia, Martinez, Jose Pedraza, and David Radjai. In this presentation, we'll be discussing the history, what cookies are, the process of cookies and the protocols used in networking, types of cookies, advantages and disadvantages, malicious uses, preventing malicious uses, and using cookies as a tool to provide a better shopping experience or an invasion of privacy. The history of cookies. The term cookie was obtained from the computing term called magic cookie, which allows programs to perform operations that they needed to. Cookies were developed by Lou Montulli, a computer scientist who created Lynx, the first web browser. As an early web innovation, cookies were used to check the internet sites that had been accessed by users. Also, they made it easier for online businesses to keep track of their users' online shopping preferences. It was until 1996 when the cookies received a lot of attention due to privacy issues. Now, what are cookies? Cookies are tools that allow sites to identify and keep track of users. They are used by many large companies to track behaviors and activity of users who visit their sites. They are defined in RFC 6265 and operate under the HTTP protocol. Cookie technology has four components. One, a cookie header line in the HTTP response message. Two, a cookie header line in the HTTP request message. Three, a cookie file kept on the user's end system that's managed by the user's browser. And four, a back-end database at the website. The process of how cookies are used. Once the web server for a particular site receives a request, the server creates a unique identification number. An entry is created and the back-end database that is indexed by the ID number. The web server responds to the user browser with the HTTP response that includes a header which contains the ID number. A file is then created on the user browser with a set of cookie ID numbers. Basically, what happens is that each time a site is visited, the cookie file is identified by the set of ID number in the HTTP header, which allows the server to track the activity of the user. The user is anonymous, but the activity is tracked based on the identifier. Cookies enable the web servers to track which pages and the times they are visited for each particular user. Through HTTP, the user is identified. Once the user enters any additional information about themselves, for example, email, contact info, or previous purchases, etc., all this information is stored in the server database under their unique identifier, and each time a user requests the web server from the browser, the cookie header identifies their cookie file using their ID number. And just here's a process, a diagram of how the cookie process is. Now there are different types of cookies. Session cookies. Session cookies are temporary cookies which contain the user's information, which is stored in the computer memory. However, they are deleted whenever the user closes the web browser. 2. Persistent cookie. They store the user's information, such as bookmarks and other preferences, until their expiry or deletion. 3. A third-party cookie. They collect information from the other web pages as a way of tracking the user's activity and monitoring the performance of the system. Another type of cookie is profiling cookies. They act like persistent cookies, although they target the user's browser history to send the messages that are in line with their interests. The last is flash cookies. They are special cookies with stored data containing images or video clips that are stored on the user's computers. Unlike standard cookies, they only can be erased through manual deletion. The advantages and the disadvantages of cookies. Let's talk about the advantages first. They provide users with an easy and faster online experience by providing tailored browsing experience. They provide convenient ways for users to access the settings and services that are available on a website. Cookies also help in authentication procedures for users to have access to their respective roles on a site. They also allow businesses to gain insights through the user's search history and location, which is effective for advertising their products and services. They are convenient since they allow users to restore their previous sessions saved from their data and preferences. They improve the overall shopping experience, such as online shopping, by storing items in carts. They are easy to implement since they consume less space on the respective storage devices. And persistent cookies are able to store users' preferences even if the server is unavailable. The disadvantages. Some cookies are stored without the consent of users, thus invading their privacy. They accumulate over time, hence consuming space on the respective storage devices. They are targeted by malicious websites and attackers who use them to steal users' personal information. For safety purposes, they require encryption, which is a complicated procedure that consumes much time. Cookies cannot store complicated information, therefore limiting the user experiences in some cases. Malicious uses for cookies. The cross-site request forgery. The cross-site request forgery is considered one of the top vulnerabilities in today's webs, where a malicious website causes a user's web browser that has established a session through a cookie to perform an unwanted action on a trusted website. With a little help of social engineering, an attacker may force the users of the web application to execute actions on the attacker's behalf. Cross-site scripting, or XSS, is a type of computer security vulnerability typically found in the web's applications. XSS enables attackers to inject client-side scripts into web pages viewed by other users. Cross-site scripting attack is code injection that the hacker injects a malicious script into the other user's browser. Essentially, in the cross-site scripting attack, the attacker searches the vulnerable website for the injection of the malicious script into the browser. Then the attacker takes over the user session before the user session cookies expire and makes the users and allows the users to connect to a malicious server to his or her choice. Now, how can users be safe from malicious cookies? We begin by use of sites through the use of same-site cookies in web browsers. This prevents third-party applications from using specific cookies which contain personal information. You can also prevent it by installing a clean extension. This extension allows the user to keep trusted cookies from frequently visited websites. It also tracks the behavior of all cookies and blocks those that attempt to gather information, especially from the malicious websites. Advanced web browsers such as Chrome and Firefox have privacy settings that allow users to remove or block cookies automatically, which offers an up-to-date, convenient way of deleting malicious cookies. They also have an established cookie control policy, which makes it easy to manage cookies. And finally, practicing safe internet use is crucial for the users to be selective, in which accessing various websites to reduce the risk by drive-by downloads, which evade detection. The questions we would like to pose to you is, do you think that companies are using cookies as a tool to provide better shopping experience or an invasion of privacy? Number two, do you believe that there should be a certain regulation on websites storing information? Again, my name is Janene Miller, and I would like to thank you so much for listening to our presentation and hope you have a great day. Thank you.